For more than a month, the effects linger in Carolina forest, where the Covington Drive wildfire continues to smolder. Forestry officials still estimate the fire is not fully contained, and the key reason behind that likely hides beneath the surface. ABC 15's Andrew James joins us now live in studio to explain for us. Andrew.
Yeah, Connor, just days after the Covington fire forced neighbors to flee their homes, forestry officials, they took to social media, making it very clear this firefight would take some time. They wrote, quote, "Fighting wildfires in Carolina bays is particularly difficult due to the unique characteristics, including peat soil." So I reached out to an expert to dig into why fires, particularly in Horry County, can burn for weeks long after the major threat is put out.
The high heat and flames of a wildfire. In March, Carolina forest neighbors were just feet away from disaster. Throughout the month, it continued to burn, blanketing neighbors in smoke.
It just kind of smolders, and that's why you see the smoke coming up. And it's problematic, and one of the reasons why it's probably lasting so long is because there is so much organic matter down below that it's keeping it smoldering.
That's Dr. Dara Park, a soil scientist with Clemson University. She says for Carolina bays, if not constantly managed with fire, the plant life and decomposing matter can allow heat to dig under the surface.
What you see above ground, that biomass, the trees, the trunks, the grasses, if you took all that biomass and took a quarter of it, that's how much is actually underground too. So if you have long stems or long roots down below, then that can act as fuel.
But because you have land near the coast mixed with organic soils and sand, she says that could add another hindrance for fighting the fire.
When the fire does get underground, it can actually burn the mineral itself. And most of the soils we're talking about here are very sandy in texture. So that sand actually burns and melts, and then it cools off. And then what do you have? You have a big slide, okay? So it can actually get stuck underneath that soil.
She says as long as some oxygen can find its way into these pockets, the low burning fire can creep not inches, but several feet below the top layer.
It just is a whole different dynamic than what we see in the rest of the state.
It's a dynamic landscape that may encourage extended impacts from wildfires, but can also bounce back, just as state officials predicted days within the height of the firefight.
It'll green back up this spring, actually, and probably be in pretty decent shape.
Now, Park adds, for the East Coast, there's little research to understand the full picture of how wildfires can impact forests underground. She hopes that Clemson can tour both the upstate and the Carolina forest wildfire soon to take a closer look at the after effects of it all. Connor?
All right, Andrew, thank you. And Dr. Park also says for fires like the Covington Drive fire to finally be controlled, she thinks the area needs to see several inches of continuous rain to inundate the 2,000 acres that were burned.